Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel, Peterisms, where I tell stories of my life and just little things I've learned as I've grown into the person that I am today. And today is a meditation day. I sat outside this morning. I did a face mask. I actually did a different face mask than I usually do, and this one made my face red too. But it's beautiful outside today, and I sat out there where the dogs were running around, and I did my prayers, I did my meditations. I read like 5 books today, 5 different meditation books, and I just kind of sat there and then took it all in and really asked myself, like, are you ready to start your day? And then I started my day, and I went and got coffee and drove around, listened to music. I've had a fantastic day so far, so I hope you are too. But the one meditation that I actually didn't do today was from Melody Beatty's The Language of Letting Go. And I usually do this every day. So I went and grabbed it and I started looking at it, and I was like, okay, no, I'm just going to read it on camera and then we'll process it, or I'll process it, and you guys can put in the comment section below what you think. So we'll see if the universe is speaking to us today. The other meditation books, they were all great, but there was nothing that I thought like I really needed to sit on camera and talk about. So I thought, let's just see what the universe tells us today. October 8th, Learning to Wait. And this is from The Courage to Change by Dennis Woolley. I've started to realize that waiting is an art, that waiting achieves things. Waiting can be very, very powerful. Time is a valuable thing. If you can wait 2 years, you can sometimes achieve something that you could not achieve today, however hard you worked, however much money you threw up in the air, however many times you banged your head against the wall. The Courage to Change by Dennis Woolley. The people who are most successful at living and loving are those who can learn to wait successfully. Not many people enjoy waiting or learning patience. Yet, waiting can be a powerful tool that will help us accomplish much good. We cannot always have what we want when we want it. For different reasons, what we want to do, have, be, or accomplish is not available to us now. But there are things we could not do or have today, no matter what, that we can have in the future. Today, we would make ourselves crazy trying to accomplish what will come naturally and with ease later. We can trust that all is on schedule. Waiting time is not wasted time. Something is being worked out in us, in someone else, in the universe. We don't have to put our life on hold while we wait. We can direct our attention elsewhere. We can practice acceptance and gratitude in the interim. We can trust that we do have a life to live while we are waiting. Then we go about living it. Deal with your frustration and impatience, but learn how to wait. The old saying, you can't always get what you want, isn't entirely true. Often in life, we can get what we want, especially the desires of our heart, if we can learn to wait. Today, I am willing to learn the art of patience. If I am feeling powerless because I am waiting for something to happen and I am not in control of timing, I will focus on the power available to me by learning to wait. I think it's a really, really valuable meditation, and you know, patience. And I knew when I started reading it, when it said, you know, like, what was it called? Something to wait, learning to wait. When I saw that, I was like, this is going to be about patience, right? And patience is something that I have learned. The dogs are over here and they are like wrestling each other. It's hilarious. Patience is something that I have really like learned the hard way through the last 23.5 years of my sobriety. And in fact, my second sponsor that I had for like the majority of my sobriety, he would have me do things like, I had to stand outside of doors like at like Speedway and like CVS and stuff, and I had to like always let 3 people go ahead of me. Or if I was in line in a gas station and it was busy and I found myself being impatient, I would have to allow 3 people to go ahead of me. And what it taught me was that, you know, like, I'm on God's time, I'm not on my time. And it also made me, you know, realize that I'm not the most important person in the universe, you know? It's just, I think sometimes we think that, but that's not necessarily the case. It also made me realize that it's important to slow down, you know? When we learn patience, we learn the timing of the world. You know, we learn to slow down, and that's been something that I've learned lately even more, you know? There was a period, I would say, in the last year where I would like rush to get up, and it's like, okay, I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to do this, I have to get these chores done, I have to get this done, I have to do that. And now I'm just like, you know, life will kind of unfold the way that it's supposed to unfold, and it maybe not go so much against the grain rather than just float down the river of life like I've talked about. And life seems to be a little bit more peaceful, a little bit more serene when I'm floating instead of when I'm resisting, trying to make things happen on my time, if that makes sense. And you know, have you ever known somebody that it's like they're very, very rigid with their time? And I'm not talking about, listen, like, you know, I've had periods in my life where I've been late. I'm not talking about that. Like, you know, I'm talking about people that are very, very rigid with their time, you know? And it's almost kind of like they're constrained by their time. And it's kind of sad, I think, sometimes when, you know, like they can't just even step outside of that for 5 minutes. And I'm not saying that I think that we need to be late in life. You know, me being on time has also been something that I've learned, you know, that the importance of respecting others and their time, that is something that I've learned as well. But at the same time, I think that it's important, maybe if it's just us during the day, like running around doing errands and, you know, going here and going there, or like you come home and you're like, well, I got to do this and I got to do that and I got to do this. Maybe just sit down for 10 minutes and practice some patience and practice just some serenity and peace, you know? If you've never done this before, okay, this is not just a recovery thing, but if you've never stood outside of like a gas station or a shopping mall or anywhere and just stood there and opened the door for people, but not just to be kind, because it is a kind gesture, but to really practice patience. Like when you feel like I have to get inside and get this, it's a really good learning experience. I had to do it for a very long time, and I can tell you what it made me realize, okay, other than I'm not the most important person in the world, and also that I'm on God's time, not on my own time. What it made me realize is that often in life, other people have a time schedule that is more important than mine, you know? And so it made me realize the importance of other people's time. But I think that practicing patience in our life is really important. And, you know, in talking about any kind of character defect, whether that is, you know, like anger or impatience or trust or whatever, you know, I was always taught to practice the opposite. So if I'm impatient in my life, then the act of practicing patience will teach me patience, if that makes sense. And so I have to do things that are going to teach me patience. And I can tell you, standing outside of a Speedway gas station, opening the door for people, and sometimes like you have to wait, right? Because like it's not like 3 people just walk in like that. Sometimes you have to wait until the 3rd person walks through the door. And it's not like, you know, I know anybody's like keeping score on me, but you know, when you want to learn that for yourself and you're sitting there and you're waiting, it makes time really slow down, and it makes you really appreciate a little bit more of the world around you, and that life doesn't have to be so fast-paced. So let me know if any of you struggle with patience out there. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.